we want to celebrate the good guys for once.
Yeah.
And say that it's not impossible to get a good, insurer, and you can get your vehicle repaired properly, and you don't have to pay out of pocket. They're charged with writing the most thorough, complete estimate up front that could possibly be done without guessing. I mean, they're not allowed to write anything they can't see. By doing it that way, they start the process, and the process moves forward faster right out of the box.
Absolutely.
Whereas most every other insurance company, when they come to look at your car, is exactly the opposite. They want to make it as least that estimate as small as they can legally.
Yes.
And sometimes not even.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the airing of Grievances with Robert Grieve. I'm Eric Reamer, I'm your host, and I wanted to say, if you are here for the very first time, welcome. Super glad that you're here. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. And if it is your first time, don't forget to click on the subscribe button and the notify bell. That way you'll be notified every single time that we go back on the air, which is every Saturday morning at 9:30 in the Mountain Standard Time Zone. But if you're a regular with us, welcome back. We're super grateful that you are here. And we invite you, and everybody actually, to click the like button. Make sure that you let the YouTube algorithm know that you appreciate this content. And then one other thing, and it's a simple request, just share the video with your friends and family on the social medias. That would be huge for us.
We'd be grateful.
All right. So, Rob, today we're going to talk a little bit about one of the more often asked questions of us. You know, when we put out these videos, we do them as a public service announcement, safety notice, if you will, to the people who watch these, to make sure that you know what's happening and all the different players when somebody gets involved in a car accident of some sort.
We're here to tell you the truth.
Absolutely. And you can go back and see all the different topics that we talk about, each one critically important for you to understand in the event that you, God forbid, are in an accident. But today, we're going to answer the question that so many people ask, and that is, what's the best insurance company? And of course, that's a subjective question.
It is a subjective.
Will require a subjective answer. But I want to hear your thoughts behind which insurance companies have our viewers' best interests at mind.
It's a great question, and one that, again, is often asked, and we really don't hesitate when somebody asks. We know which ones are best for multitude of different reasons.
All right. So should we set the stage, or
we should say Happy Saturday? Happy Saturday.
There it is. All right.
So I'll start by answering the question.
Thank you. Okay.
With typically when we look for insurance to buy insurance and sign that contract with somebody, that's basically a promise.
And when we say we, not the shop, but the
we
consumer.
As individuals.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I buy insurance the same as everybody else buys insurance.
Right.
And what we usually default to is the least expensive insurance. That's what we want to start looking for first.
Sure, at the end of the day, that's how insurance is marketed.
And we want to save money.
Right.
But not every policy is, you could spend more money and get less. You could spend less money and get more. There's a lot more to it.
Okay.
And, you may look at, you may just be a research person. And you may, subscribe to Consumer Reports or
sure.
look up J.D. Power Awards and so on and so forth. That's a good way to do it, too, because you're getting a sense of
how people feel.
Yeah,
right.
In an aggregated way.
Yes.
J.D. Powers does it not only, nationally, but they'll do it regionally. And there's a lot of things that affect that, too. I mean, You look at one company, their home base is there, and they grow their audience from there as an insurance company.
Sure.
You see some other national insurance companies that are everywhere.
Right. It's kind of like a bad rash sometimes.
Yes. And then you have people that will take the research a little bit further, and that's why we get asked the question all the time.
Yeah.
Like, for me, if I want to know what's the best health insurance for me to buy, I'm going to call my doctor. Who's the best health insurance that you deal with?
Oh. Now that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because if you call your doctor to find out who they work with better than others, that's a different angle than starting with price in mind.
Yeah, you have a relationship with that person. There's trust. That's the person you're going to go to if your pinky starts swelling up or whatever.
Please don't. Don't let that happen.
So, people call us the same way I would call the doctor. And, the doctor works with the hospital, so they know what policies work with not only with them, but with the hospital.
Sure.
That if, God forbid, you needed to go to the hospital or one of your kids or whatever the case may be. And by choosing that insurance company that works really well with this doctor in the hospital, you may find that the experience is not only better, but faster. Because they've pointed you down the right road to the better insurance company.
Yeah.
From their point of view. And should you need them, you're not going to have to go through a whole bunch of what I call pain level. Sometimes, they have to get pre-approval to do a surgery or whatever the case may be, a test.
You are speaking the language of the American public right there, man. I mean, we all know this conversation.
Yeah, they have to go get those pre-approvals before they do them.
Right.
If you're dealing with the right insurance company, for them, then that probably is going to go faster.
Yes.
And
fewer hoops, more upfront relationship that says, from the insurance to the doctor, we're going to work with you, we're going to cover the bill, and
less pain.
Less pain.
And it could be the difference of going to get that X-ray or scan or whatever tomorrow or 2 weeks from now.
Hello.
So
I think I'm picking up where you're what you're laying down here, and kind of seeing where you're going to go with this.
Can
I call you doctor?
No. Or a lawyer.
Doctor, I concur.
Counselor. So, yeah, it's, and I'm just going to spit it out. If you call and talk to anybody here at Nylund's and ask them which insurer to go with, the number one insurer that we have found the best for our guests is Amica. Amica Mutual Insurance out of Rhode Island.
Now, that's an interesting thing, because they are not one of the ones. I mean, on a very rare occasion, you might see an advertisement on television, which we'll come back and talk about those advertisements. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting that you say that, because the ones that we're marketed to by seem to just take up all the bandwidth.
Yeah.
And yet
they're spending a lot of money on advertising.
Yeah. And you
got to wonder, what aren't they spending the money on?
Hello. And you said something that was really important. You said that they were the ones that were the easiest and the best for our guests.
For our guests, for the guest experience. We want to point you in a direction that is going to equal what we want to give you as a guest experience, with the proper insurers that are going to do the same thing. They're going to really, really care. Amica approaches things from a completely different perspective than, if you want to call it, the competition. I don't think they have any competition myself, but
okay.
So
this brings up a very important question, and that is, and I want you to look square into the camera and tell the guest and the viewer here, if you will. I want you to, Doctor. Do you have some kind of professional relationship with? Are you being paid or endorsed by, or in some way, is there any kind of a kickback or anything from Amica for you to say the words that you just told our audience?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We do not have any agreements with any insurance company. We never have. We never will. For me, it is, you can't, you are my primary responsibility.
Right.
And you can't add another person into that I also have a responsibility to, which would be if I had a contract or whatever the case with another insurance company. I don't want any of that confusion. We're going to handle your needs the way you need them handled.
Okay, so you are advocating on behalf of the guest that comes through our front doors, and we could go so far as to say that you are advocating on behalf of anybody who's watching this, because really there's no conflict of interest, right?
No, none whatsoever.
And that's a really important thing, because as we start to peel back the layers of why you like, in this case, Amica, right? Mm-hmm. And there are some other companies out there who are doing a great job.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Right. But as we start to talk about this and peel back the layers and talk about why, it's important that we know that you know that this is coming out of a pure heart, right? This is not about us in any way, shape, or form. It is only about you and how it plays out at the end of a claim. It's
about excellence and taking care of, truly taking care of the guest. Last week I had my dear friend Steve Sheehan on from AAA Auto Source to talk about used cars and values and so on. He is amazing when it comes to taking care of people. I love to support those that take care of our guests. Amica's one of them.
Yeah, if you didn't see that video, I'll put a link to it up above so that you can go check that out. It's really a great video. And again, you got to find somebody you trust, and you trust Amica. All right, so let's unpack this thing. Why?
Okay, so there's a lot of reasons why I like them, and there's a lot of people that agree with us as well, across the country.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get to that in a second. But for me, and I'll tell you, since I've owned Nylunds, people ask me who I would insure with. The number one was always Amica, and is always Amica. There was a time I recommended a second one.
Yeah.
Today, I recommend you stay as far away as you can from them.
Really?
Management changes and personnel, boots on the ground that are handling your claim and so on. A lot of those things changes. So what I have learned is consistency.
Yeah.
And Amica has been consistent throughout the years. They've never let us down. They've never let the guests down. And in addition to that, it's easy to get behind somebody that wins J.D. Power Award after J.D. Power Award, because it's not only me talking about them, it's the people that are also using them across the country.
Yeah, it's the people who are being served by them.
Yeah. And I just want to say equally, I like Chubb. Chubb Insurance is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another one of those ones that I hear you say an awful lot. Mm-hmm. Those two really come to the top on almost every survey, as well as your own personal experience.
So, when an Amica or a Chubb vehicle comes into the shop, we don't hesitate to move forward with that thing. The paperwork is a whole lot less. The relationship is there. They know how we're going to fix the car. We know they're going to pay us. You hardly have to do anything. So we just get the car, and they go right to the front of the line. And there are a couple other insurance companies that are acting that way today. But I say, and I can't give them the props yet because they're doing it today. There was a time that they didn't, and it wasn't that long ago. So when they earn that consistency of taking care of the guest, then we'll be happy to prop them up as well.
I think that's fair and reasonable. And just to restate what you said, so that in maybe a little different words, and that is that the process of getting your car repaired can be sped up sometimes by weeks or even months.
Oh, absolutely.
If you have an insurance company who says, yes, let's get the right repair done right away and we are going to cover that, instead of many of the other videos that we've put out, and I'll just let you peruse any one of them by the thumbnails, that talk about cutting corners and expenses at your expense.
Yep.
And not you,
And
but
dragging
at
out
your expense.
and dragging out the whole process.
Yeah.
You know, some of these insurance companies will have you have that X-ray a month from now.
Yeah.
Because guess what? They're saving a whole bunch of money in between now and then because they know what the X-ray is going to say, and then we got to start spending money.
Yeah.
It's just the way that is.
There you go.
I would want to say that I have had Amica, and I don't anymore, unfortunately. I've had Amica for 40 years. It's the only thing I have done for 40 years other than breathe.
Yeah.
And I don't have them anymore because we moved, and our house, in order to help support our daughter, who's inspiring strides. She teaches and helps kids that with therapeutic issues and so on and so forth. And Amica doesn't cover that kind of a loss.
You needed a horse property.
I needed a different insurance company.
Yeah.
So I had to go with a different one, and it was depressing.
Yeah.
But day in and day out, Amica guests coming here go straight to the front of the line because we know there's not even a question in our mind. We order the parts and we get going on the thing.
Yeah.
Because here's a clean difference. When Amica sends an adjuster to look at your vehicle,
Yep.
they're charged with writing the most thorough, complete estimate up front that could possibly be done without guessing. I mean, they're not allowed to write anything they can't see, but just like any insurance company.
That sounds kind of like what your folks downstairs are charged with doing.
Yep. The most thorough that you can, so there's less surprises.
Yeah.
But by doing it that way, they start the process, and the process moves forward faster right out of the box.
Absolutely.
Whereas most every other insurance company, when they come to look at your car, is exactly the opposite. They want to make it as least that estimate as small as they can legally.
Yes.
And sometimes not even. To start off with, because then they get to save the money for now and pay it a little bit at a time going forward.
Well, we saw a video. We actually put out a video on a testimonial in the state of Washington where one of the adjusters for one of the major insurance companies said that his supervisors told him specifically, you are an insurance adjuster, and your mission in the world is to adjust that bill down. Yeah.
So that's not looking out for you, and
No.
we would never recommend. I don't care if it's free.
Right.
We're not going to recommend that because they're not working in your best interest.
That's right.
So I've had Amica. I've had losses, and
they step up.
Oh my God. In the biggest way, you can't even believe it. You're so surprised.
Yeah.
They do stuff that's just surprising. It's good stuff. They're a good, solid company, and
I gotta be honest with you. It's kind of refreshing talking about the good guys.
Yeah. I
Right?
love talking about the good guys, and the guest experience is it's wonderful for all of us.
That's right.
When we don't have to fight all the time.
Yeah.
There's. I was asking my guys for a list of them, and they rattled off, 4 or 5 of them, and they said, this is a good one, but we all get dragged through the mud till the end.
Yeah.
They'll pay at the end, but it is a long, hard process all the way through.
Yep.
Great, they pay in the end,
Nobody wants to go through all that drama.
No, the pain level is the pain level is too big.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And you shouldn't have to make calls to your insurance company to say, "Hey, what's going on? Why are we doing this?" It's if I could share every single day a video about something going on down at the floor.
That's true.
It's incredibly sad, but we want to celebrate some of the good guys today.
Absolutely.
And Amika and Chubb.
Top of the list.
Yep.
All right.
And I'll disclose that I went with the AIG private client policy for my personal stuff.
All right.
Because they would handle the house with the horse property and all the rest of that. And if you look at the verbiage, if I get in an accident, I don't have to have a rider that gives me manufacturer parts. It's in the verbiage. We're going to fix your car with manufacturer parts. It's right in the policy. There's no need to go out and get a rider, on top of it, and
that's incredible.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that existed. But
yeah,
wow.
Yep. There are some good companies out there.
Yeah,
and I find this policy to be very, very competitive, but also very, very thorough.
All right.
So there's some good ones, and if you have an inkling that you want to go with a particular insurance company, if you want, pick up the phone and give us a call. We'll tell you about our experiences with them.
Absolutely. Now, can we circle back and talk a little bit about the marketing?
Sure.
Because the marketing, and I'm not going to assign this to any one particular insurance company, but we're bombarded every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're driving down listening to the radio, whether you're watching YouTube, the marketing is there. Everywhere we go, on television, all of it.
Yeah.
The marketing is all about price, and it's saving you money over the competitors, which is the thing that psychologically they know is the driving factor.
Plus, they have a brand that you think that they're going to be this
right
for this amount of money.
Yeah, the tagline.
But when you have the loss, I mean, it's really interesting in some of the J.D. Power surveys that I've been reading. Trust is critical, but insurers have work to do.
That comes from the J.D. Power.
J.D. Power survey. Yep.
Say that again. Trust
is critical, but insurers have work to do. And this is what's really staggering. Despite the importance of trust, only 42% of all insurance customers say they strongly agree that they trust their insurer. How horrible is that?
That's not a passing grade.
No. And they also say that loyalty is heavily influenced by claims history. That customers are least likely to renew their policies when part of an insurance claim is denied. So, and you wouldn't know that until you have the claim. So it's kind of like jumping out of a plane. Is your parachute going to open or not?
Right. Well, I can tell you this: my parachute did not open. When I had a claim, what was it, a year ago? A little more than a year ago.
Oh my God, was that painful?
It dragged out. I mean, I literally hit a pothole, and it dragged out for 6 months and cost me $12,000, and it was a fight.
Yep.
Every step of the way, and so I changed insurance companies because of that, and we could go on and on into that, but ultimately, what you think is saving money, a certain percentage over a certain amount of time, or you've got a great tagline because something about your hands or whatever, and we think that we're doing the right thing by saving money,
and save a dollar saved is a dollar earned, no question about it.
Until
but at
you
what
have
expense?
a claim, right?
Yeah.
And until you have a claim, and then when you have a claim, all of a sudden, those let's call it $100 over the course of a year, maybe a couple of $100. Oh, let's give you the benefit of the doubt and say $500 over the course of the years, and you, like the average, get into an accident or have some kind of a claim that is a $20,000 claim, and then you discover that your insurance company is not willing to cover that, and now you have to
Pain
come out of
level is
pocket
high.
On top of
there is those
what
times.
you've paid.
Yep, there is those times.
All right, so back to the good guys.
Yep. Here's another thing. if you get Amica Insurance,
Yeah.
or Chubb, or some of the others I've talked about, they're not only good if you come here. They're good. They're good. They're good whether you come to Nylund's or you go someplace else. Now it's about trusting the place that you're going.
There you go. That's exactly right.
So there's a few different things that go back and forth and have to work together.
Well said. You got to choose the right doctor.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And I haven't always done that, and I'm paying the price.
I know how true that is.
So, anyway, that's really what we wanted to talk about today. Is we want to celebrate the good guys for once.
Yeah.
And say that it's not impossible to get a good, insurer, and you can get your vehicle repaired properly, and you don't have to pay out of pocket. Give us a call.
Yeah.
Give us a call. We'll send you down the right road, and we'll help you out.
And if you're watching this and you're seeing that we're having this conversation, you want to comment below, feel free to do that as well. We will respond to those comments. We'll answer any questions that you have. And Rob, this has been really enlightening and encouraging, right? Because we want to know that there are people who really do look out after us and really do put our best interest in front of their profit margins. And by the way, they do okay because of that, right?
Well, we need everybody rowing in the same direction when you have a loss. We need everybody looking out for you, and the more people we can get in the boat rowing in your direction, the better off it is.
I think this is great stuff. And Rob, thanks for peeling back the curtain, if you will, on the industry as well as on the really good guys out there.
Yeah.
Super grateful. Once again, I want to restate that we have no professional relationship with any of these insurance companies.
Never will.
And be suspicious of a brand that does, because if you follow the money, you'll follow, I think you'll find the pain.
Yep. The pain level will be high.
Yeah. All right. We want to say thanks for taking time out of your Saturday for joining us here at the Airing of Grievances every Saturday morning at 9:30 in the morning in the Mountain Standard Time Zone. And again, if you would, please give us a big thumbs up. We appreciate that. That helps YouTube know that we're doing a good thing and shares it out with more and more people. Don't forget to share this on your social media, and we will see you next Saturday morning.